In a world full of faces, few dare to see what's hidden inside. Welcome to Black Inside USA, where every story has a shadow and a lesson. She was just a hotel maid until one phone call changed everything. When she answered in perfect Dutch, the millionaire froze. And what happened next, no one in that hotel will ever forget. It was one of those quiet evenings in downtown Amsterdam when the lights of the city shimmered like 1,000 golden promises. Inside the Grand Monarch Hotel, everything glowed, marble floors polished like mirrors, chandeliers dripping light like liquid gold, and soft classical music humming in the background. For the guests, it was heaven. For the staff, it was another shift. Among the uniformed employees moving gracefully across the halls was Amara, a young hotel maid. She wore a simple uniform, navy blue dress, white apron, but carried herself with quiet pride. Her dark curls were tucked neatly beneath her cap, and her eyes held a spark that didn't belong to someone just cleaning rooms. Amara didn't talk much, but when she did, her words carried calm confidence. She worked hard, rarely took breaks, and never complained, not even when others did. People noticed her work ethic, but few noticed her story. The millionaire guest. That evening, a new guest arrived, Daniel Verhoeven, a Dutch-American millionaire investor. He was young, successful, and disciplined, the kind of man who turned ideas into empires. He had come to Amsterdam for a business summit but was known for his sharp instincts, especially about people. Daniel wasn't arrogant, but he had grown used to being treated differently. Wherever he went, people either feared him or flattered him. But when he checked into the Grand Monarch, he noticed something rare, a maid who didn't even look up when he walked past. She was focused on her work, folding fresh towels with mathematical precision. A simple mistake. The next morning, as Daniel prepared for his first meeting, he realized his room service order had been delayed. He stepped out of his suite, slightly impatient, and found Amara standing by the cart with the breakfast tray. "I'm sorry, sir," she said quickly, her voice calm but respectful. "There was a mix-up in the kitchen. I made sure it was corrected." Her accent caught his ear, faintly African, with soft Dutch undertones. He nodded. "No problem, thank you." She bowed her head slightly and pushed the cart into his room. The aroma of coffee and fresh croissants filled the air. Daniel glanced at her name tag. "Amara," he read aloud. "Pretty name. Are you from here?" She smiled politely. "Not exactly, sir. I'm from Suriname, but I've lived here most of my life." He smiled back. "Ah, Suriname, Dutch colony once, right?" She nodded. "Yes, sir." It was a small exchange, polite, distant, professional. But it would become the seed of something bigger. The call. That evening, Daniel sat in his suite, reviewing documents. His phone buzzed, a call from his assistant in New York. He answered briefly, then excused himself to take another call from an investor. Amara entered quietly to tidy the room. She worked in silence, dusting the desk, straightening the bed. Then, her own phone buzzed. She hesitated. Employees weren't supposed to answer personal calls during duty hours. But the caller ID said, "Mama." Her mother had been sick. She answered softly, turning slightly away. "Hello, Mama. Hogarth had met you." "Hello, Mom. How are you?" Daniel froze. He looked up from his laptop, not because she answered the phone, but because of the way she spoke Dutch. Her accent changed completely, clear, precise, educated. She wasn't speaking like a hotel maid. She spoke like a professor. Amara continued for a few seconds, switching fluently between Dutch and English. Her tone was gentle, her words intelligent, compassionate. When she hung up, she turned and saw Daniel watching her. "I'm sorry, sir," she said quickly, embarrassed. "I shouldn't have." He interrupted softly. "You speak Dutch very fluently." She hesitated. "Yes, sir, it's my first language, but that's not just fluency," he said, curious now. "That's mastery. You sound like someone who studied linguistics." She smiled faintly. "Actually, I did, before I came here." The hidden past. Daniel leaned forward. "You studied linguistics?" She nodded. "At the University of Leiden. I had a scholarship. I was working on my master's when my father passed away. I had to drop out to support my family." Her words were soft but steady, no self-pity, just quiet strength. Daniel felt something shift inside him. He had met hundreds of people chasing money, fame, and comfort. But this woman, cleaning rooms and apologizing for being too educated, carried dignity. He stood up slowly. "Amara, may I ask you something?" She blinked, nervous. "Yes, sir." Would you come down to the lounge tomorrow? I'd like to talk to you about something important. She looked confused. Sir, I'm just a maid. I don't think. He smiled. That's exactly why. I think you have something most people don't. Thanks for watching Black Inside USA, where every ending starts a new story. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next story might just change your mind.